And now the man who knows that no matter who the guest is, the show is always about him. The host of Wind Funnel, Deano Bravo.
I am entertaining, and I know what viewers like you want. I've been behind the wheel of a race car, I've been underneath the race car, turning the wrenches, I've been on both sides of this desk, I've been behind the camera, I've been in front of the camera, and I will bring 30 years of motorsports journalism to you in your living room. I am your host, Deano Bravo. We have taken the Wind Funnel Studios live on tour, out on the road, here at the beautiful Lake Country Motorplex. A fine facility indeed, one of the most historic venues here on the HOCC circuit. When I took over the Wind Funnel earlier this year, I promised you, the race fan, that I would bring you behind the scenes of the HOCC, that I would introduce you to some of the characters, not only the drivers, but the promoters, the riders, the behind-the-scenes folks that make the HOCC what it is, and we will do that here today as we introduce you to the owner of this fine facility, just released from prison, Fat Tony DeFalko. Fat Tony, good to have you here on the Wind Funnel.
Well, I'm sure it's a real pleasure for you to meet with somebody like me.
Yes.
I understand you've got a lot of celebrities now. You get to talk to me.
Fat Tony, prison treating you pretty well there. It looks like.
I run that pretty good. You know, prison's different for guys like me than guys like you. You get in there, they throw you in there, they lock you up, throw it away to keep. Me, I run the joint. So life is good.
Right, right. 4,750 trumped-up felonies that you were.
All lies. All lies, every one of them. They can't prove nothing.
All of them.
I didn't do nothing wrong. Like, I got the right kind of lawyer. He got me off.
I mean, with all due respect, there, Fat Tony, to yourself and your fatness and your profession.
You're some kind of a wise guy. You're trying to smart off to me. Nobody smarts off the Fat Tony.
No, I wouldn't smart off them. But
okay.
4,750 trumped up charges? What?
They just made them up. How do I know?
Oh.
None of them is true.
You are the proud owner of the Lake Country Motorplex, and one has to ask, what possessed you to get into the track owner business?
Well, I've always been involved in racing of some kind. Of course, I'm from the old country. We have Mario Andretti. Guys like that. When men drove race cars, none of these sissy car guys now, but when men drove race cars, they drove on dirt. So I bought the biggest and grandest racetrack of them all, the high banks, where they go faster than anybody else. And I'll tell you another thing. But this HOCC business, there ain't no broads at my racetrack. That broad Amy Butler, she ain't here. We don't let her in because men drive this racetrack.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I did want to talk about, as you were quoted as saying there's no, sorry ladies, but quoting Fat Tony, no broads at his track.
Well, it just ain't right. Racing is for men. Hey, well, I got a nice club on the infield. She can work there.
Yes, yes. One of the finer establishments here. It's adult entertainment.
Just a classy joint. It ain't no clip joint. It's a real classy place.
Oh, okay. All right, good. And a betting parlor.
Yeah, we got that on the first card. That's very exclusive, though. Little weasel like you can't get in.
Okay. This is going pretty good so far, isn't it? Yeah. Hey, they're telling me it's time to take a commercial break. We will be right back on the Wind Funnel with more from Fat Tony.
Hey, Paulie, come over here. Straighten this guy out.
Back on the Wind Funnel with Deano Bravo. Great to have you back. Okay, Fat Tony, glad to have you back. You had made some noise about wanting to own one of these teams, and how's that coming along?
Well, you know, racing takes money, and I got lots of money. I want to win. I'm tired of these guys just coming out there and they take their laps, run around, put broads on their race team. I want a man. I want somebody who wants to race. I like that John Shea guy. He got guts. He want to race. That little Dean Strong guy, he's okay too.
Yeah, I heard a lot about him. Yeah.
Last call!
Oh, thank God it's last call. Tony, Fat Tony, how last call works here on the funnel is I ask the question, you answer it, real quick questions, so we get through as many as we can in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Fruity Pebbles or Cocoa Pebbles?
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing.
Next question.
Godfather or The Sopranos?
Both.
Okay. Blondes or brunettes?
Yes.
Betting, ponies or the puppies?
Ponies.
Okay. Family or friends?
Family.
Uh-huh. Sausage or pepperoni?
That's dumb. Ask me a good question.
FHM or Maxim?
Huh?
Okay, that's it. We're out of time. Thanks for joining us, race fans. I'm Deano Bravo. He's Fat Tony. And you're watching the Wind Funnel from Lake Country Motorplex. Thanks.
Welcome to the Lake Country Motorplex, the massive high-speed oval in Economacki, Wisconsin, way out here in the sticks, I guess. We're back again, and it's a fast open-class race. Tons of stories here as the HO Champ Car World Series heads to the next event. Number one, the point leader is not here. He is in Las Vegas somewhere. We understand that he got hauled over there by his wife, Little B.
I heard he was over there involved with that O.J. Simpson problems.
Oh, that's right. I think he's one of the co-defendants or something. Other things, there's a feud brewing in this league, apparently. It's between Dean Strom and Dan Margetta. It kind of started last year, and you know what? They were on the front row tonight, and they're in the first heat together along with Jim Iverson.
I hope we see a fight. It's been a while since we've seen a good fight. I want to see someone get knocked down and hit on the head with something.
This is the place that happened last year. We had chairs flying and everything. It happens.
That was great. That was great.
It always happens. Open class race. The cars are fast. The temperatures go up. The tempers go up.
There's two scary dogs running around, too. Watch out for them.
Yeah, they're at this track. It's Lake Country Motorplex. It's what people like. It's good crashing, good racing. People like that.
There's some lakes, and I heard if you go in a lake, you might drown, and you'd be able to race too.
That's right. You got to keep the cars out of the water because they don't. No, they don't float. They sink. They sink in a hurry. But it's a State Farm 400. It's a lot of speed. It's fast, and it's next.
Here we are at the State Farm Halloween Race 400. What's that car doing on the track? That looks like that Knight Rider car. That's a pace car probably. Hey, first time we had a pace car. Pretty cool. There, Dan Margetta, that 7 car. He was pretty fast. He was pretty fast. That's all I can say about him. And this guy here, they told me that car was a cheater car. I hope he's not cheating because I bet a lot of money on him. I lose all my savings if he loses the race. That's Dean Strom.
Check out the heavy hitters here in row 2. That's your defending series champion Jim Iverson, always quick on the high-speed open class races. And alongside of him, winless in 27 races now. The count keeps going. It's Larry Rotter. He's looking to change that tonight.
What's up with that guy? Look at his helmet. He spent some time on his head recently. That's Mike Kristoff. He's all over the place. And there's that. I always get that Dane Barty card. There it is one more time. That's Andy Spears.
Couple of newcomers back here. We haven't seen this car in a while. The old Australia car. It's Ned Wicker making a triumphant return at his hometown track. Wicker back behind the wheel, and this way all the way from Indianapolis, Indiana. Nope, it's not Tony Perkins. It's another driver. It's Mark Anderson in the 2 car.
In the last place car, what happened to that guy? That's Chris Baird. He struggled pretty bad. I hope he does good. He got that McDonald's car.
The first heat race is ready to go. And let's see who's going to lead this first lap. It's a very fast cars here, and that is Dean Strom, I believe, out front. Oh, and there's a crash for Strom right in turn 1. Dan Margetta is out front over Jim Iverson. Dean Strom has been struggling, and we welcome back to the announcer booth here at HOCC TV the inimitable Biff Blabber. And Biff, welcome back to the broadcast.
Boy, this is exciting. You got Dan Margetta here, and Jim Iverson, Dean Strom. You can't get much more exciting than that.
You are well known to HOCC fans for calling a great season a couple of years ago, and we've been fortunate to have you back at least a couple of times lately. What have you been doing with yourself?
Well, I've been actually pretty busy. My schedule, I do a lot of events all year long, and so I'm on the road pretty much all the time, but I really do miss the HOCC.
Yeah, you should tell us about some of those events, because I understand that's why you can't be with us for every race, because you're traveling the world covering some of the more unusual sporting events around the country.
Well, one of the ones that was really exciting this year was the International Eating Championship, and it was held in San Francisco. Bozo Miller won the race. The race to the end, if you will. He ate the entire menu. It was very exciting.
That's amazing. And you enjoy these events. They're very unusual.
Well, they are unusual. Probably the one that's the most hazardous is the gas passing championships. But as long as you don't have a match, it's okay.
And where do they usually hold those?
Well, outdoors, of course.
It's an excellent point. Excellent point. Now, what are some of your recollections of when you covered the HOCC?
Well, I just think the greatest driver that ever was at HOCC was Phil Cianciola. And, pretty much once he left, it opened the door for some other great talents. I think our defending champion, Jim Iverson, is really special. And Larry Rodder. I mean, what can you say about Larry Rodder? He's so fast. So
also put up finish of this first heat race, and Dan Margetta racked up about a 6-lap lead over Jim Iverson, as he has also opened up an over 20-lap lead over Dean Strom, although Dean running third has been faster than both cars in this second half. He has definitely hooked up the handling on this car.
Well, indeed it is, but all hats have to go off to Dean Strom. I mean, look at this guy, second half of a race. He just got everything together, and it was just fabulous.
There you go. Dan Margetta wins the first heat. All three of these drivers arrived in the same hauler today. Now, who goes home the winner? This is going to be interesting stuff. You got Andy Speart, Chris Speart, Mark Anderson. Oh, and a slow start for Andy on that one. And then a wreck right away in the first turn for Mark. In the meantime, Chris Speart, that McDonald's car was very fast, but had some trouble in qualifying. Was not able to, qualify very well, certainly, but is looking very good here so far early on in this heat race, as Mark is a rookie driver here on this circuit, and of course we know that rookies always have a hard time. Their first HO Champ Car race, you look back on the history of this series, and the rookies have always had a hard time trying to, make a dent against some very stiff competition here. And this is a high-speed oval, and maybe David Hobbs, who is joining us here in the booth, can remind us about his rookie year when he first drove for Roger Penske.
Well, it was a rather interesting experience. Actually, what Roger did is they put Tanqueray and tonic in my gas tank, and I don't remember much after that, but it was a rather enjoyable afternoon.
I'm sure it was. And it's interesting that he would remember that is exactly the fuel you need.
And don't remember, David Hobbs Honda, where we have great deals on Honda cars, just 1 mile west of the Bayshore Mall.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for stopping by, David. All right, we talked earlier about rookie Mark Anderson getting his start here on the big oval in Dan, Tom, and Kendall. This is a tough place for a first-time driver.
Yeah, it is. The HOCC driver development program is in full force here, as you see Anderson behind the wheel, but it's a school of hard knocks today, boy. He spent more time in the fence than on the racetrack, and it's causing fits for the guys around him, but he's doing pretty good. He's keeping it on the track, and who knows, maybe we'll see some more of him, all the way from Indianapolis, Indiana. The second driver to come from Indianapolis, Indiana.
That's right. We may have a burgeoning, enclave of quality drivers coming out of there. Maybe someday we'll get both Indianapolis drivers together to compete. Chris Speart is leading this, but on the radio, he said that this race reminded him of a video game.
That looks like a video game. He's having to dodge all kinds of obstacles out there, and that's just the cars on the racetrack. Now, in addition to the pond and the rocks and everything else is here, it's the guys you're racing with you got to look out for. And for Chris Spirit, it's been a task today.
Not to mention those big goons. Did you have to get by those guys to get into the track that I think Fat Tony uses to control security here?
I think everybody did it. They don't use metal detectors here. They got their own, and it's the human factor for security, and it works pretty well because it's pretty much if they don't like you, they throw you out.
Yeah, I think I pulled a hamstring on that search they gave me today. Was that his first start, and he crashed out of this thing? Where did that car? There it is. There it is. We found it. The HOCC TV cameras have found the car. He's way down there. Oh, it was a brutal crash.
We caught up with Mark Anderson. Mark got the rough way to start, but what happened out there?
Tell you what, he had a couple of his boys jack me up, I think. I'm disappointed.
Are we talking about Andy Spirit?
Oh, definitely Andy. He really wants it, but geez, that's dirty fool.
The Barbie car took you out?
He wrecked the car.
He threw a high heel under my tire.
Oh! But Chris Spears has just won this heat race and advances to the final.
Third heat race, Larry Rotter, Mike Kristoff, and Ned Wicker making his return. You'll see them. They'll come right by you. There they go. All three cars are off, and the first lap leader is Mike Kristoff. Kristoff is looking very good here. He is out front as Wicker has a spin, but that blue car, that's Mike Kristoff. He hasn't made a final. You talk about Larry Ryder not winning a race. Mike Kristoff hasn't made a race in about 25 years. And he is out front early now in this heat race. Some of the best racing we've seen so far is right here between the black car of Larry Ryder and the blue machine of Mike Kristoff. Kristoff holds a 2-lap lead right now as we approach the halfway point, but that's going to hurt right there. A crash. Oh, they both hit down a straightaway. It's silence at the track as all three cars are off for a moment, but Mike Kristoff continues to lead, but not by much. Larry Rotter is coming fast, and Rotter is there. Oh, he took the lead and it crashed. It hit right there. He hit the strip joint. Larry Rotter hit the gentleman's club, as they call it here. Rotter hit the gentleman's club. He'll have to take the stop and go. As we come to the halfway mark, that will mean Mike Kristoff will lead at the halfway. Hindsight Racing will put two cars in a final. I don't think that has ever happened. Oh! We saw the crash. It's not there yet. He's going to take a stop and go. Mike Kristoff, we're watching this right now. Here comes Rotter again. He'll go by. And this could be it. I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see two Hindsight cars in the final for the first time in years as Mike Kristoff has won the heat race.
Jim Iverson, congratulations. You come out of that rough and tumble first heat race.
That was the fastest first heat race ever. All the fastest drivers, the top three qualifiers were in it. It was tough. I'm lucky to be in the final.
Did that season you then for the final?
Yeah, I think it did. I think I know how to race this track. I know who I've got to beat. It'll be fine.
Deano Bravo back with one of our combatants here for the State Farm 400. How are you, Chris?
Pretty good. That was a pretty interesting heat race.
That was an interesting. Now we're talking about your heat race there. That was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a video game. I was just trying to like dodge, things kind of like, I don't know, like Frogger or something. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, and then if you got hit crossing the street, well then, but you could. It was just like a video game. You put it back on and you just go again. Well, it's been 27 races since this man has won a final here as we head into the State Farm 4. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Dan Margetta. I thought it was Larry Rotter, but it's Dan Margetta.
It feels like 27 races. But all you Rotter fans, don't worry. I'm going to let you in on some inside information around the garage area. He may not have won a race in 27 years, but next season, or 27 races, but next season, he signed on to do Dancing with the Stars.
Hi, Deano Bravo.
Hi, Mike Kristoff. Remember me? Driver of the number 3 Hindsight car.
Oh,
you remember me?
I've read about you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dull end of the grid. Yeah,
Yeah, not this time. Not this time.
You got a chance?
Absolutely. I'm one of the 4 cars.
Well, logic then would say, yeah, you have a chance.
I'm out there.
Is there any team orders? Do you remember what they are?
Jerry Hindsight never talks to me, so I don't know if they're team orders. I haven't seen the guy.
Well, all right.
First car I ever got all season, so no, I don't. There can't be any team orders because I never see the team.
Well, as long as he signs the paycheck.
Paycheck?
You
hey, I'm supposed to get paid for this.
Here we are at the Lake Country Motorplex, heading into the State Farm 400. It is Chris Speart on the inside, then Dan Margetta, Jim Iverson, and Mike Kristoff on the outside. We are off and running here. 400 laps for the State Farm 400. Here at Lake Country Motorplex, we get all the stars in the world of motorsports. Jackie Stewart. Jackie, welcome to the booth.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's so fast. The aerodynamics of the motor cars come into play here more than any other place in the circuit.
And, you know, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you the pressing question of the day, and it was some recent comments about Max Mosley called you a half-wit, or short of a half-wit?
Well, what I have to say to Max Mosley, Mr. Poopy Pants, don't go calling people names.
Booth here by a motorsports legend. We are speaking to none other than Chris Economacki. Chris, welcome to the Lake Country Motorplex. I see you found your way up to the booth.
Wow, Dane, it's a pleasure to be here. Now, this action here reminds me of a long time ago, 1938 at the HOCC Speedway. We had this kind of a Final Four, which is just spectacular, except the Doogie Flugie went off the track and turned two and nailed a cow.
And what are your impressions here of this facility? It's an incredible facility. It is high banked, it is big, it is fast.
Well, a little known fact is back in the early 1930s, what was a horse racing track in Chicago owned by the notorious Al Capone. And Fat Tony surely is in that ilk, and but to his credit, Fat Tony's done a pretty good job.
And we're getting a look here at some of the interesting aspects of Lake Country Motorplex. We see here is a wagering hall. Gambling is legal at Lake Country.
Well, that's one of the things that was grandfathered in, because when John Boss made this racetrack back a few years ago, he grandfathered in Indian gaming.
And over here we have the oh, how do we call it? A house of ill repute?
Well, Fat Tony thought that a gentleman's club in the infield would be a good drawing point, and he's right.
Is there a history of that?
Well, not exactly, except up in Canada.
Excuse me, sir, we're on the air here. We're on the air. Excuse me.
Well, I don't care what you're doing. Where's Bubba? I come here to see some racing, and I see a bunch of sissy cars.
Well, this is the HOCC, sir. I'm not sure what you expected to see.
This ain't no run to the Cup.
No.
Where's that 24 car? I'm waiting for that 24 car, but I ain't here.
No. This is the HOCC, sir. I think next street down, different track.
No, well, I'll tell you, I ain't never seen these here boys before, but they're a bunch of sissies. They ain't none of them can run NASCAR.
Well, that very well may be the case, sir. But this is the HOCC.
But the only good thing about this is me and Bubba, we was gonna go for a hot dog, and we thought that there thing down there in the infield, we thought that was a concession stand, but it weren't. It turned out it was a nudie show.
Yeah, well, that's one of the fine features here at Lake Country Motorplex.
That's the only good thing about it.
Okay, well, on your way, sir. Thank you. Thank you for stopping. 2 to go for your race leader, Dan Margetta, as he leads over Jim Iverson, Mike Kristoff, and he's already saluting the fans with a handful of laps to go. Dan Margetta, your race winner here at Lake Country, picks up his first win of the year.
Hey, you won the race! Yay!
Yeah, it was a pretty good race. Good time.
That's all you got to say is it was a good time. You won the race. Yay!
Good. It was like a Sunday drive the second half. I mean, it was just kind of, the car was great. I got to thank Mike Fitzloff. He set the thing up. I didn't take that out of our own stable. I had to go outside to get one that's quick. But I got to give it to our team. They're good. Mike Kristoff is in that race. I mean, he finished 4th. He made the final. Good job for the team.
Hey, look, there's a trophy. You're getting that trophy.
Check it out.
Woo! And look, there's some money in that trophy.
Right.
Woo! Wow.
That's the pole win money. You know,
I think there's like a million gazillion some dollars there. But good, congratulations. You done pretty good.
All right, thanks. And congratulations. That was a good interview.